Jeffrey Dennis joins us, independent market expert. Mr. Dennis, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Just when we thought that there will be no problem between the Chinese and the Americans, you've got Donald Trump has tweeted, and the fine print clearly seems to be indicating that the trade war was not, the trade Trump terms are not settled, and the trade war will start soon.
I mean, we have a trade war underway already because the tariffs are in place already, obviously. The surprising tweet over the weekend, I guess today, is, I think, a sign of frustration from the U.S. government, from President Trump, that the talks are not going more smoothly, more quickly. And it's also a sort of classic move of a businessman trying to put pressure on the other side of the other side as he tries to get a deal. So he's trying to put pressure on China, obviously, to move more rapidly. So I think that the way to look at this is a very big surprise. You can see the impact in the market, with the Dow futures down over 500, tremendous weakness across Asia so far. And so it'll all depend on whether they go through with this threat to raise tariffs on Friday, and indeed whether they'll go through with the threat to add 25% tariffs to another $325 billion. This is a very serious threat. I think you have to put it down to a bit of a tantrum from the White House because they wanted the talks to go more quickly.
Right. Jeffrey, do you believe that, you did say that we are somewhat in the midst of a trade war right now, but there are risks of it escalating into a full-blown trade war, and that the kind of commentary that's come out from U.S. President Donald Trump is likely to backfire because China is not going to want to negotiate with, so to speak, a gun at their heads?
No, they won't want to negotiate with a gun at their head. But on the other hand, I think you can make a strong case that an escalating trade war from here could have more of a negative impact on China and the Chinese economy than it will have on the U.S. I mean, obviously that can be debated. And so they will not want to see a further escalation. Clearly, if these tariffs go through, tariff changes, the two sets on Friday or beyond that, and China responds, which they almost certainly would do because they would have no reason not to, you do have an escalating trade war. And although it appears the Chinese economy is stabilized in the last couple of months or so, the Chinese economy is vulnerable, I think, to an escalation of the trade war. And so Trump probably thinks he can win this one by upping the ante, if you like, now. But it's a very, very risky strategy, frankly, from the U.S. president.
Right. Jeff, I mean, could it mean advantage India? Because, a lot of people are already saying that perhaps India should try and reach out to companies which want to move out of China, provide them the ease of manufacturing, the ease of doing business, and this could very well work in favor of India.
No, I think it very well may do. And another reason, apart from the reason you mentioned, another reason that I've always talked about is the reason why India would be a relative beneficiary is the limited trade links between China and India. So what we get out of this is a sharply weaker Chinese economy compared to what we'd anticipated prior to this latest extraordinary tweet. At the margin, it probably does help India. I think the risk, well, in my view, the risk for emerging markets from all of this is that the best bet is that the dollar will rally on the back of this. In fact, you're seeing this morning, both against the Chinese currency and indeed generally, and that's going to hurt all of the emerging markets, which is a very well-known view that I've had for a long time, stronger dollar being negative. So India, I think, would be hurt by this, but would be hurt a lot less than perhaps a number of other countries would be. For what it's worth, if I can just say this, I think this is probably a relatively empty threat. I doubt you'll get a lot more tariff action. You may get some tariff action, but at the end of the day, this is a negotiating tactic by the president. It came out of nowhere. Big surprise. He may well not carry it through, but if he does carry it through, you basically reverse or threaten to reverse all of the better feeling about markets in 2019, which has been premised on the idea that the trade war is peaking and we're going to have a deal down the road. And so this is why you're getting such a dramatic action. I would wait for things to settle down for the next couple of days or so, and then I think you have to think about being a potential buyer, because I just don't see this developing into a massive trade war, notwithstanding this tweet from President Trump.
Jeff, thanks very much for joining in and giving us a sense as to what the implications of this could be.